In the mid-18th century, the seeds of rebellion were being sown in the American colonies. As the sun rose on this epoch of history, the air was thick with whispers of revolt and the rustling of parchment. The American colonies, scattered across the eastern seaboard, were waking up to a reality they could no longer ignore. The motherland across the Atlantic was tightening her grip, imposing taxes and laws that chafed against the spirit of liberty budding in the New World. The Stamp Act of 1765 and the Townshend Acts that followed were more than just legislation. They were sparks that ignited the kindling of discontent. The British Crown, in its pursuit of revenue, was taxing the colonies without their consent. This was seen as a violation of the age-old principle of no taxation without representation. The colonists were being asked to shoulder the burden of taxes while having no voice in the decision-making process. This was a bitter pill to swallow. As the resentment grew, so did the cry for independence. The Sons of Liberty, a secret society of patriots, began to rally the colonies. They spread the word of resistance using every tool at their disposal, from fiery speeches to printed pamphlets. A common cause was slowly uniting the 13 colonies, a cause that was bigger than any single one of them, a cause that promised freedom and self-governance. But the road to freedom was not to be an easy one. The British were not willing to let their colonies slip away without a fight. The taut string of tension was about to snap, and when it did, it would plunge the colonies into a war unlike any they had ever seen. The first shots of this war would be fired at Lexington and Concord, marking the beginning of a long and bloody struggle. As tensions escalated, the stage was set for a bloody conflict that would change the course of history. This was the dawn of revolution, a time of courage, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of independence. The American Revolution was about to begin. The American Revolution was not a faceless conflict, but a struggle led by visionary individuals. Let's start with George Washington, a man of immense courage and leadership. He was the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army, the force that would stand against the might of the British Empire. Washington's military strategies and his unwavering resolve were instrumental in the ultimate victory of the colonists. Then there was Thomas Jefferson, a man of intellect and eloquence. His pen gave voice to the colonists' desire for freedom and equality. As the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, Jefferson's words ignited the spirit of revolution and set the philosophical foundation for the new nation. Across the Atlantic, we meet King George III. His insistence on imposing heavy taxes and maintaining British control over the colonies fueled the flames of rebellion. His policies and decisions set the stage for the revolution and, inadvertently, the birth of a new nation. In the British camp, we find General Charles Cornwallis. A seasoned military leader, Cornwallis led the British forces in several key battles. Despite his strategic prowess, he was ultimately defeated at the Battle of Yorktown, marking a turning point in the war. These individuals were not alone. They were surrounded by a cast of characters, each playing their part. There were spies and soldiers, diplomats and citizens, all contributing to the complex tapestry of the revolution. Their stories are a testament to the human spirit, to the power of ideas, and to the courage required to challenge authority and fight for freedom. They show us that history is not just a series of events, but a mosaic of human experiences and decisions. These individuals, with their differing visions and ambitions, would shape the course of the revolution and the future of a nation. They were the key figures of the American Revolution, the architects of a new world, the builders of a nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. From the first shots fired at Lexington and Concord to the decisive victory at Yorktown, the American Revolution was marked by pivotal battles. These confrontations shaped the course of the war, testing the mettle of the Continental Army and the resolve of the fledgling nation. The Battle of Bunker Hill, fought in June of 1775, was a significant early battle. Despite the fact that the British technically won, the battle demonstrated the colonists' ability to hold their own against a professional army. The British suffered heavy casualties, while the colonists proved they were not just an unruly mob, but a force to be reckoned with. Fast forward to 1777, and we find ourselves at the Battle of Saratoga. This was a turning point in the war. The Continental Army, under General Horatio Gates, defeated the British, proving to the world that they could win. This victory was instrumental in persuading France to enter the war on the side of the colonists, providing much-needed support and resources. Then in 1781 came the Siege of Yorktown. This was the final major battle of the war, where General George Washington's army, with French assistance, laid siege to the British under General Charles Cornwallis. After weeks of relentless bombardment, Cornwallis had no choice but to surrender. This marked the end of major combat operations in the American Revolution. But let's not forget the countless smaller skirmishes and confrontations that punctuated this period. These battles, often overlooked, were just as crucial in shaping the course of the war. They wore down the British forces, disrupted their supply lines, and boosted the morale of the Continental Army. Consider the Battle of Trenton, for instance. On a cold Christmas night in 1776, Washington led his men across the icy Delaware River, surprising and capturing a garrison of Hessian mercenaries. This daring raid lifted the spirits of the beleaguered American forces and gave them a much-needed victory. Or the Battle of Cowpens in 1781, where Daniel Morgan's tactical brilliance led to a decisive victory over the British, further tipping the scales in favor of the Americans. These battles, fought with courage and determination, would eventually lead the American colonies to a hard-won victory. Each confrontation, each victory, and each loss shaped the course of the war, and ultimately, the birth of a new nation. The battles of the American Revolution were not just military engagements, they were the crucible in which the United States was forged. The American Revolution was more than just a war, it was a defining moment in global history. This statement encapsulates the transformative power of the Revolution, a seismic shift in political thought that still reverberates to this day. The Revolution did not just birth a new nation, it also gave rise to a new way of governing. The idea of rule by the people, for the people, was a radical departure from the monarchies of old. The Revolution sparked a wave of democratic ideals that swept across the world, inspiring other nations to shake off the shackles of tyranny and embrace the principles of liberty and equality. The drafting of the Constitution was a landmark moment in this journey. It was an audacious experiment in self-governance, underpinned by the belief that power should reside with the people. The Constitution set out a blueprint for a democratic republic, with a system of checks and balances to prevent the abuse of power. It was a testament to the foresight and wisdom of the Founding Fathers, who understood that true freedom lay in the rule of law. The impact of the Revolution extended far beyond the borders of the United States. It served as a beacon of hope for oppressed peoples around the world, offering a vision of a society where all men were created equal. The principles enshrined in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution have inspired countless movements for freedom and democracy, from the French Revolution to the Civil Rights Movement. But the legacy of the Revolution is not just felt in political arenas. It has also permeated the American psyche, shaping the nation's identity and values. The spirit of the Revolution, the courage, the defiance, the unwavering belief in the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, is embedded in the American DNA. It is reflected in the nation's relentless drive for progress, its commitment to equality and justice, and its indomitable spirit in the face of adversity. The Revolution also left an indelible imprint on the world stage. It marked the emergence of the United States as a global power, setting the stage for the country's rise to superpower status in the 20th century. The ideals of the Revolution continue to guide American foreign policy, with the nation often positioning itself as a champion of democracy and human rights. The American Revolution, a testament to the power of the people's will, continues to resonate in the hearts of freedom-loving individuals everywhere, reminding us that liberty is a cause worth fighting for. This enduring legacy is a testament to the lasting significance of the Revolution, a pivotal chapter in human history that continues to inspire and enlighten. As we reflect on the impact and legacy of the Revolution, we are reminded of the timeless truth that freedom is not a gift bestowed by the powerful, but a right claimed by the people.